A little housekeeping before we start. If you guys have any question during this forum, please type them in the comment box. I will bring them out forward during our Q&A session. Gentle reminder, feel free to ask any question during the Q&A session. Please make sure you mute your audio during the whole session. Thank you for being patient with the technical glitch, if any. Have a great time during the session. Please fill in the registration form that provided in the comment box. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good evening everyone. First of all, I would like to welcome all of you to our forum. As per the title, for this special occasion, we would like to have a hearty discussion regarding a controversial topic due to this pandemic. The aim of this forum is to have a clear explanation between the lecturers and students regarding the remote teachings and learning RTL. With me, Rauda Helmi as your moderator for today. To make this forum a blessed one, I would like to invite Brother Azam Azizi to recite the doa.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Allahumma ja'al jama'ana hadha jama'an marhuma wa tafarruqna min ba'dihi tafarruqan ma'suma wa la taj'alillahumma fina wa la ma'ana wa la yatba'una wa la man yatba'una shaqiyan wa la matrudan wa la mahruma. Allahumma la sahla illa ma ja'altahu sahla wa anta ja'alul huzna idza syi'ta sahla. Allahumma aftah alaina hikmataka wanshur alaina min khazaini rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Allahumma ighfir li masyayikhina wa liman 'allamna warhamhum wa akrimhum biridwanikal azim fi maq'adi sidqi indak ya arhamar rahimin. Allahumma ighfir lana dhunubana wa li ikhwanina alladhina sabaquna bil iman ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم ربنا عليك توكلنا وإليك أنبنا وإليك المصير ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you, Brother Azam Azizi, for the beautiful recitation. May our event this evening receive blessing from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Before we begin our discussion, let me introduce the panelists for today, as most of them have a lot of knowledge and also experience about the topic that will be discussed. First of all, we have our Deputy Deans of Academics and Industrial Linkages, Dr. Ma'an Al-Khatib. Next, we also have our Deputy Deans of Student Developments and Community Engagement, Honorable Associate Professor Dr. Hasma Mansur. The Presidents of Enginius 27, Brother Muhammad Ridwan. And last but not least, Brother Haziq Mahmur as our student representative. Thank you for joining us today. I know that today's topic may bring up numbers of questions from you, and I would like to let you know that I will address as many problems as I can in our 2 hours program. In today's agenda, we will mainly discuss on how online learning has affected us in various ways. For your information, we will have 3 sessions which discuss problem, relationships, and manner during RPL. Now, without further ado, we will start our first session. I hope our panelists are ready.
Inshallah. Is my voice clear?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Our first session is mainly based on the survey that was made from last January to identify all the rising issues that last semester while conducting remote teachings and learning RTL. If you are aware of the survey, there are quite a number of students who experience only asynchronous classes throughout the semester. It is known that asynchronous classes took longer time than contact hour provided. There are also lecturers who only use videos from YouTube for teaching, so students could not analyze the syllabus well and find it hard to understand the course. To clarify this problem, what is Kuliah pragmatic approach in solving? First, the neglections of online class among the lecturers that lead to the lack of guidance. Second, the unregulated workload for the course. I will let Dr. Ma'an answer this question first. So please, Doctor.
Okay, thank you, sister. And thank you for Enginius for inviting us, myself, Dr. Hasma, to this forum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless this session. I'm very excited to be here with all of you today. And I hope, as Sister Rauda said, that it will be very interactive and open session. We are very much open for your inputs and feedbacks and questions. Thank you for the question with regarding to the Kuliah approach to address feedbacks from students with regards to lecturers, teaching and learning. First of all, we have to ensure that in the Kuliah we have an open policy when it comes to feedbacks. We welcome all these feedbacks and because they help us improve the quality of teaching and learning. And but at the same time, we also need to guard the academic integrity of the process. Or let me put it in a different way, say we need to guard the integrity of the academic process. And that is because if that integrity is jeopardized in any way, everybody will be in difficult situation, including the students themselves, because that will affect the quality of education. So when feedbacks come in, we do look at them to ensure that these feedbacks are genuine and they address issues which need to be seriously looked at. Now, when we receive feedbacks, as Muslims, we cannot just assume that this story is a true story, and we follow the Quran in this. When people come with complaint or feedback, we are asked to check. So we usually ask the lecturer to check. And we will address these issues with the lecturer, discuss it, and see what is the feedback of the lecturer. What we usually do, as I said, we will listen to the lecturer, and then there will be a committee formed involving the dean, the BD deans, and the head of department of the lecturer, which the students give feedback on. And these issues will be addressed. Now, do we accept all kind of quote-to-quote complaints? No. Do we reject all? Also no. So we do address issues like late coming to classes, last minute information and assignments, no synchronous classes, too many videos with very long times. But issues like using videos from YouTube, we don't really put limits on this. We don't say, no, you cannot use YouTube videos from YouTube. But we require the lecturer, we expect the lecturer to organize the learning from the YouTube. So we request the lecturer to watch YouTube and see if all the content is relevant, then that's okay. But sometimes the YouTube might cover more than the syllabus or less, then the lecturer has to address this. Probably can inform the students that this YouTube from this minute to this minute is not within syllabus. So you can just skip it if you want. If you want to watch, it's up to you, but it's not within the syllabus. And actually, we received a complaint for the last semester on this. And when we checked with the lecturer, we saw that the lecturer gives clear explanation to the students on which part is included and not included. So I'm not sure where the issue is in terms of, because we've seen that. We've seen it on IIUM, and he explained in details, and we saw that. So probably there was some miscommunication somewhere, and this is probably something that we need to address. Communication is very important. Where we don't accept, like the complaints, we didn't accept that lecturers don't solve many examples, don't solve many tutorials. They don't explain in details. We don't accept this kind of complaints because we don't expect the lecturer to do that. The lecturer's job is to facilitate your learning rather than they call it like spoon feeding. Everything is given, and that's another topic. Probably I hope that we will have an opportunity to talk about it. But let me assure you that we have a very clear guidelines and policies in place. Even before RTL, we have these guidelines by the university on how the lecture should be conducted. We have good conduct kind of policies. We have also policies on assessment, what kind of assessment, what types of assessment to be used. And during RTL, of course, we have very sudden change, and quickly we managed to come up with guidelines. We provided training for the lecturers on how to use all these tools, because we will not be surprised to know that some lecturers did not use all the online tools before because they felt that they don't need it, and the classes face-to-face classes are functioning well. So we in the Kuliya, we managed to come up with a very quick guidelines and information and training for the lecturers on this. Of course, when it was sudden, we kind of caught in surprise. Alhamdulillah, we kind of managed that. Of course, there were some hiccups on the way, and we had a team which was specialized in addressing the teaching and learning online, and they were helping and supporting the lecturers who have issues dealing with this kind of problems. And let me assure you that when we receive complaints like lecturers don't do synchronous, this was addressed to the lecturer. The dean have many times mentioned that. But one of the complaints was conducting too long synchronous classes. In my class, let me talk about myself here. In my class, when I asked the student, did you watch the videos? If you watch the videos, type 1. If you didn't watch the video, type 0. And then you see receive 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. The video is maybe 20 minutes. So if you receive a reply that most students didn't watch, don't expect me to give a 10 minutes synchronous class, because you are supposed to watch 20 minutes. So now the class is meaningless if I want to continue the class without the students watching it. So there's a kind of a balance that we have to have between the students and the lecturers. When we ask you to watch a video, you have to watch the video before the class, so we can conduct the class as planned. But if you don't watch the videos, most of the students don't watch the videos, then we have to compensate that. So I hope that kind of address the question. And
Right.
I hope later on, if there are more questions, we can, inshallah, address them. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Ma'an. Let me highlight the importance of the feedback survey as well. Is important to improve the quality of the students and also lecturers, and as well the organized YouTube content following the course syllabus is for the lecturer, which to use the YouTube videos, and lecturers also have been guide and have the proper guide from the kuliah and training before RTL. All right. We already heard from the lecturer side. How about you, Brother Ridwan? Do you have any words from the student side about this problem?
Thank you, Sister Rauda, Sister Moderator. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wa ala alihi wasallam. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Respected our Deputy Dean Student Development and Community Engagement, Dr. Asmah Mansur, respected Deputy Dean Academic and Industrial Linkage, Dr. Ma'an Khatib, and my friend Brother Hazib Mahmur from final year student on biotech engineering, and also others participant and audience that watch from the live and also in this Zoom meeting. Okay, so for the first question that the moderator gave to me is about the approach on solving the matters that have been mentioned, which is the neglecting on online classes among the lectures, and also the unregulated workload.
Yes.
Okay, so for me, myself as a student, I do face this kind of problem, which is the unregulated workload, and also the neglecting online classes. I didn't face it like it's not that crucial to my courses, right? But there's many of my friends, and I also see the evidence where the lecture give a lack of guidance on the online classes. Just I do agree with Dr. Ma'an, which is we the student, especially we as a university student, we have to provide ourselves more time in additional time in having our own research on things like the topics of on the subject regarding the courses that our lecturer have taught us, or any issues, the current engineering issues, so that we know the current situation in this country or other country lah. So that from all the research, we will expand our knowledge on the subject itself, rather than focusing on the textbook and the slide notes. We do need to have our own research on the subject for us to have more understanding. But still, as a student, we do need guidance from the lecturers, because in the circle of teachers and students, the guidance is very crucial for the knowledge from lecturers or the teachers, because we know that teachers have the knowledge more, and the knowledge and the experience of the teachers is more compared to the student. So the guidance is very crucial for the student to have the complete knowledge of the courses lah. So for me, there must be a balance between guidance from the lecturer and also ourselves as a student, our effort to have to gain the knowledge ourselves. Okay, so for the neglecting online classes, I do receive many uh, what we call complaint or reports from the students, which is they said that the lecturer has only provide study material, some but not many, only provide study material without any videos, or uh, any other material. Then they have to do study group by themselves. Uh, this kind of uh, system or this kind of approach in learning is not healthy lah, for the students, because for me, a healthy discussion, healthy face to two ways learning between the student and the lecturer is very important for the student to have the knowledge of the course, because with this healthy discussion, we can develop thinking skill from the student and the lecturers, because the discussion tend to go beyond our course outline, so that if we, the student, after we graduate, we have dah terbiasa dengan with that kind of problem lah. And then for the unregulated workload, there is in courses that we know in our kuliah, where a course, a specific course have more than one section, and then these sections provided different kind of assessment, different kind of approach, uh, even that they are in the same courses, same subjects. So this kind of approach somehow it's hard for the student to have what we call it's not hard for the student, sorry, it's like unfair for the other section to be more hard to take the courses than the other sections. We know that I believe that every lectures have their own reason on doing so. So this kind of discussion between the student and the lecturers on understanding the reason from the lecturers, from the lecturer's action, is quite important for the student to understand the action lah, because by understanding the reason, inshallah we might understand the action of the lectures. Okay, so what our engineers have planned for catering this type of issues is we will have a engineers help desk, which is will be notified regularly in the early of the semester, so that the students can have their voice or concern to be submitted, to be voiced out through our help desk, so that we can compile it and analyze and then send to the management for further action. Okay. I think that's the approach from engineers for this kind of matters. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Let me brief the answer from Brother Ridwan. He mentions that we should not just expect the lecturers to just spoon feed us, but we also need to do our own research for more understandings about the subject. Guidelines from lecturers are also important for better comprehension. However, It must be balanced from both parties to achieve the objective of the course. And one more thing that Enginius has helped desk to help students solve their RTL problems. So if you guys have any problems, then you can voice it to Enginius. As we all know, for the upcoming semester, we will have continuous 10 weeks of lecture. The concern here is, can students carry out 10 weeks of lectures very well? Since last semester, many of the students were affected with the 12 weeks of lectures that had been shortened from 14 weeks. Don't you think that the students will feel the same burden like last semester? I will direct this question to Brother Haziq. What is your reaction to our academic calendar for next semester? Please, brother.
Right. Thank you, Sister Allah, as a moderator for today's discussion. So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good evening to respected Dr. Ma'an, Dr. Hasma, and Brother Ridwan, and also all to my fellow friends as a member for our discussion today. So, first of all, I want to thank Enginius for having me for tonight to discuss on the matter related to the students. Right. So, back to the question: how am I react and how the action? You ask me when the decision decide on this new system of academic calendar. I will honestly say that I am personally okay with it. Okay, it is personally okay. So because since I have used to it before this, because before this I have been juggling with other stuff other than classes. However, but on how I manage the chaos is another story. Whether it is a success story or a bad story, please DM lah if you want to know. Okay, so however, when I ask my friends from other kuliah, also from I called just now, and also from economics kuliah, some of them are also okay with the decisions, but many, I would say many, but not majority, because I have no data on it, so I would say many. So many of them are disagree. But at the first place, why they don't agree with this decision? I think maybe this is these things that I have listed that I got from my friends, and also all on Twitter. I also asked, because I don't want to show sendiri to bring this up, but I want to hear how students' reaction on this matter. So maybe first, the thing that we concern the most is on the non-stop assignments and quizzes for the 10 weeks continuously. Well, so that is the on top, the one that is in our concern, because as we know, other than the classes and assignments, we also have all this in the independent study, time learning that need to be fulfilled. So the 10 weeks non-stop lecture actually will burden the student. And the next is the buffer zone. The buffer zone after or before the mid-sem exam. The buffer zone here means previously, when the lecturer do the mid-sem exam, it is whether before or after mid-break, right?
Yeah.
So the mid-break itself is a buffer zone for student. Like we have an exam, so if we have mid-sem before the mid-break, so we can break a little bit, and then we continue with the lecture. Then maybe some lecture will do the exam also, but after the mid-break. So the mid-break itself is a, like a buffer zone. So but now after the new academic calendar, my assumption is the mid-sem exam will still be on the 7th or 6th week of the semester and onwards. But then this time there is no buffers. There's no buffer zone, no buffer period before or after the mid-sem exam, and that will add more burden to the students on what they already have, right? And the third why is we are disagree, I think, on this in this matter is, I want to talk this time I want to talk on the perspective of as an activist from the society, because me personally, as an activist in the Pembina society, a student which is a student front and also a Dakwah-based society in UIA. So every semester we already set our, when we make our program. We also have approached, the panelists, all the technicalities when we do the meetings and all that. All of this have been set in our meeting. And when we do, and when this decision will be implemented, then we need to reschedule our takwim, as we need to take into consideration on the, we need to take the consideration on the red zone period. So this red zone period is on the mid-break, on the mid-semester exam, on the revision period, and also on the final exam. So this is the red zone that we need. I think who is in the society will know this red zone, that we cannot disturb this period, right? So I think that is the 3 points that how students react on this matter. I would like to recap back. First is the concern on the non-stop assignment and the quizzes. Second is there is no buffer zone for us, maybe to readjust our study plan, to readjust our mindset. We need to motivate ourselves. And then the last but not least, the third point is the perspective as an activist. So we need to reschedule our program and all because of this academic calendar. There is this new academic calendar that has been announced by the IIUM. So I think with that 3 points, thank you. That's all.
All right, thank you, brother. Allow me to restate the points mentioned just now. Brother Haziq said that many of his friends are not happy about the academic calendar, but not majority. Their concerns are about the more assignments that will be assigned, midterm exam as well as no break period for self-reflections. However, without the midterm break, student will feel burden for the course, and that's it, I think. Hence, what is the actions of the kuliah regarding the continuous 10 weeks of lecture? I would like to address this question to Dr. Hasma. What is your perspective regarding this matter? Please, Doctor.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Rauda, for the question. I also would like to thank Enginius for having this forum. And actually, this forum was requested by the kuliah when we received so many concerns from the students, and also we received the RTL survey analysis. So Alhamdulillah, thank you very much, especially Academic and Career Bureau for fulfilling this agenda of the kuliah to have this forum. So brothers and sisters, the main objective of this forum is for the kuliah and also for the students to have a better communication, insyaAllah. Yeah, with better communication, many problems can be solved, insyaAllah. So related to what Sister Raudah said just now, and we have heard about Brother Haziq's explanation where he already asked the question to his friends in WhatsApp, in Twitter and many other platforms. For me, Sister Raudah and also my fellow students, this semester, this coming semester, semester 2, 2020-2021 is very special. Yeah, why? Why it is very special? First, we will have Ramadan during this semester, and then another important thing will happen this semester, which will have Raya this semester. And what makes me believe that you students who will return to IIUM will have Raya at Mahala. Yeah, that will be a very new experience to you. Yeah, okay. So the academic calendar has been decided by the university. It was decided by the University Management Committee. There are things that we can discuss, but some of other things that it comes directive from the university. If you have heard from Prof. Faris, our former dean, and who is right now our deputy director of academic, he always say that is this something that we can discuss, or this is wahyu? Yeah? The term that he used was Wahyu. Yeah, Wahyu is some very directive from top down, and like he said, Samikna wa atokna. Yeah, brothers and sisters. So we just listen and do. Okay, so in this case, since it is a very directive direction from the university top management, so not much we can do, yeah, especially to the students and also kuliah. Although we cannot, okay, but look at the calendar. Raya will be held on 13th and 14th of May, which is on Thursday and Friday of week 10 of our study period. And then prior to that, we will have Nuzul Quran, yeah, brothers and sisters. Nuzul Quran will fall on Thursday, 29th of April 2019. So we have Nuzul Quran on Thursday, and normally you will have no classes on Friday. So you still have a long weekend. So you will have 4 days undisturbed, inshallah. Yeah. Okay. So in order for you to balance yourself, to be keep motivated, yeah, to undergo all these 14 periods of study week, especially the first 10 weeks. So just make yourself continuously motivated. So what you can do, yeah, brothers and sisters, first maybe you spend more time with positive friends, okay, and then maybe less time with those who are quite negative. Okay, then maybe while studying, for example, you do your self-revision and so on, you take short breaks in between of your activities. For example, in every 45 minutes, you stop, take a break, you can eat snack, you can go out from your room and do stretching, get some fresh air. Yeah. Okay. And I really encourage our students to have some physical exercises. Yeah. Not just using your hands. Yeah. Because right now, brothers and sisters, our new generation love to play games. Yeah. Where only hands are moving. Okay, but then in order for us to keep our mind healthy, our physical healthy, we must go outside and do physical exercise. If we can go close to nature, yeah, if there is no pandemic, we can go to the seaside, we can go to the camping, we can go to the jungle to do the jungle trekking and many others. By having ourselves close to the nature, it will give us a very good spirit, and after that, inshallah, you will be more motivated. Okay. And I know that time is very constrained, but there is one thing that you can do early in the morning. Yeah, for example, just make your bed. Yeah, I listened to a very high rank officer in Navy in US. He said that in order for you to change the world, you must be able to make your bed. Yeah, that is the first step. Once you do that, yeah, every morning you successfully make your bed, you can do more other things, inshallah, throughout the day. Thank you, Sister Rauda.
All right, thank you, Dr. Hasma. To put in a simpler way, the kuliah has no control on the academic calendar as this is a direct information from a university. In order to make ourselves motivated, we should do some fun activities, and we also can have a break between the activities and do physical exercise to make us more energized. All right. Now, let's proceed to our second session regarding the relationships in contact with communication between lecturers and students. The students feel more distant during RTL mode as they cannot communicate like in the physical class. Once again, Dr. Hasma, what is your perspective? How to make communication easier or how to create a responsive environment?
Okay. Your question is about how to make communication clearer and lively environment. Okay. So maybe I can ask Sister Rauda or Dr. Ma'an or Brother Haziq or Reed, yeah. At what age you learn how to speak? Okay, Rauda?
Maybe 1 year old.
When okay, maybe around 2 you can start to say mama, ayah, something like that, right? Okay. Okay, so go to Brother Haziq. At what age you know how to write? Haziq?
Or maybe 4.
Oh, okay. Very nice, yeah. Okay, how about Brother Ridwan? At what age you learn how to read?
How to read, madam?
Huh.
As far as I can remember, is madam. I think around 4 or 5 kot. Entahlah.
Oh, very clever, yeah, Read. Okay, so it comes towards another question. Okay, we have learned reading, writing, and also how to speak. Okay, however, we didn't spend our time or we don't have any kind of proper knowledge on how to listen. Yeah, brothers and sisters, we never learn how in his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Okay, so brothers and sisters, the successful in communication is first we must understand and then we can understood. Okay, most people they listen not to the intent of they want to understand, but they tend to reply. And when they have that intention, they will start to filter the story that you tell. Okay, so in life, we have no doubt that communication is the most important thing. But it is not only the way we speak, it is not only the way we can convince people, but it is also included the way we can listen to the others and then communication better between students and also lecturers in our scenario of remote teaching and learning. Okay, first, maybe, yeah, brothers and sisters, since the lecturer and the students are at distance, yeah, if you have heard about PJJ, Dr. Maan, you know PJJ?
LDR, madam.
Huh?
LDR. Long distance
LDR, what is
relationship.
LDR?
Long distance
Yeah.
relationship.
Okay. Long distance relationship, PJJ. Sometimes people say that it is pengajian jarak jauh as well. Yeah. So for this PJJ or long distance relationship, I experience it as well. Yeah, brothers and sisters. Even a very small matters will make things worse. Okay. So we are at this kind of situation. We are at a long distance relationship. So the important thing is the effective communication. So if you have something to tell your lecturers, please tell to your lecturers nicely, and the lecturers can respond, inshallah. Yeah, and since the only thing that we can communicate right now is through video, I really hope that students, brothers and sisters, you can turn on your camera during the class time. And I already encourage our lecturers to turn on the camera so that at least, although it has no physical and also the engagement is not that good, however, we can see each other. Okay, and also brothers and sisters, the way of a communication, we want it to be very ideal, yeah, if possible. So although there are some means of communication through social media, however, please do it the right way. Please do in the right channel. When students do something like complain, I don't like to use the word complain because I don't encourage students and also my children to do complain. So I use the word concern. When I talk to the kuliah about the students' concern, so I highlight the students' concern. Some students and also lecturers, we tend to express our feelings on the social media. However, it will take some attention, but that is not the right way. That is not the right communication. So use the right channel to address your concerns, your problems, and in our scenario, in order for you to concern, concern and hope for
All right. Thank you, Dr. Hasma. Just to let you know, Doctor, you a bit lagging. Maybe we can improve that. Once again, thank you, Dr. Hasma. The summaries of what Dr. Hasma has said are: first, we need to have effective communication so that we must listen and understand the inputs and not listen to reply. The students can turn on the camera so that they can see each other and feel more near with the lecturer, even though in the online mode. In ideal way, we must put our concern in the right way of communications. And if we have any problems, do tell our lecturers, because some things that might be seen small but can be a big issues later on. All right. How about you, Brother Ridwan? What do you think about these questions? How to make the communication easier, or how to create a responsive environment in the class? Please proceed, brother.
Thank you, Sister Marita, and also thank you, Dr. Asma, for your opinion on these matters. Okay. So the question is how to make communication easier and how to create a lovely environment. Okay, so I believe that everyone agree that the comparison between the physical classes and the RTL is much more harder in terms of the communication between the students and the lecturers, the students and also not to forget the students with the office that we have in the kuliah, because it's in the online we have to access it online, and the information to access it, the most of the student doesn't have the information on that. Okay, so like I mentioned before, the physical classes, the communication in the physical classes is more easier compared to the RTL, because in the physical classes where the lecturers give their lectures in the class, explaining about things about the subject, topics that related to the courses. If any of the student don't have the ability to catch up with the discussion with the lecturers, they can briefly discuss with their deskmate or their classmate to have the to catch up with the discussion in the class. But now in the RTL, the communication of between the students and the student to have a brief discussion so that everyone can have the same understanding on the topics is it's blocked. I can say it's blocked lah, because the platform that we use in the RTL, in the online learning, doesn't allow others communication other than the lecturers and the student, which is only two ways communication. There's no like cakap apa, bincang kat belakang kan, tak ada. There's not that kind of things. Anything that if the students didn't understand, they have to ask the lecturers on the spot lah, if they want to ask in the class. So these things is much more difficult. This communication is much more difficult in this online learning. But I would suggest for the students to encourage the student to have their study groups with their friend, their classmate, and then for the knowledge of the class been developed lah. Okay, and then to create a lively environment, okay, to create the lively environment, I would like to suggest for either the lecturers or the student themselves can suggest to the lecturers to have activities done in the class. But too much activities will burden the both of the parties because it will give more commitment to the student to commit and contribute, and also for the lecturers to access. But different activities other than direct lecture from the lecturers is very helpful for the student to have for the course to have the lively environment. Okay, so other than that, this is I think quite important for the student because it's in the state before you enter the class. Every student have to prepare themselves before they enter to the class, and this prepare means by preparing their state of mind, because when you come to the class without anything in your mind, because it's online, when online you can just enter the class after you get up from the bed without you take any bus or anything, so that will disturb your your mindset on the learning lah. Okay. So I would like to suggest I would like to encourage all students to have to prepare their mind, especially your mind your mindset for learning and understanding, to absorb the knowledge throughout the online learning. Okay. So I think before I end this question, I would like to give some, I think, some tips for the students to have to be active in class, to be not to be sleepy or not to have not to disturb with anything throughout the online class. The first one is I think as we all know, our smartphone can give can disturb us if we keep playing on the smartphone throughout the lectures. If we have our lectures in the laptop or computer, put aside your smartphone for a bit, for a brief moment, just an hour and a half, if your class if a full class, and the other thing is don't sit still. You have to move around so your blood circulation is circulate properly lah. But don't sit still doesn't mean that you can go play futsal on your online class. I know it's possible because it's online, right? Nobody know what you do behind the camera, but still do move around, take a bit of snack or drink a lot of water so that the oxygen can help your brain to think throughout the online session. Okay, I think that's all for the question. Thank you, Sister Rauda.
A quick recap of what our panelists had mentioned earlier. There are differences between online mode and real live sessions. One of the drawback is that students cannot have discussion between themselves during online classes. So, Brother Ridwan suggests that students can ask lecturers to make the class more responsive by using games such as quizzes. The students can have a group study among them to discuss on the subjects that they did not understand in the class. And also, students should be prepared before entering the class to make sure they're more focused. He also mentions that students can put away the phone briefly during the class to focus more and do some light exercise so that we will not feel sleepy. Next, I will direct these questions to Dr. Ma'an. Doctor, does the kuliah has standards online teaching methods for all lectures that include, first, the methods of learning which include synchronous and asynchronous classes. Second, the assessments like quiz, test, finals, examinations, and also carry mark. Lastly, the study material, which is videos or lecture notes. Please proceed, Doctor.
Thank you, sister. Before I touch on this, let me just emphasize on a very important point that Brother Ridwan mentioned just now, which is feedback. And I thank Enginius for initiating this help desk to receive feedbacks, not at the end of the semester. Unfortunately, sometimes, like I myself, in my classes, I put open the chance for students to give their feedback, and I make it anonymous. You know, I don't ask for their name or email or anything. Just give me your feedback, and I make this during the whole semester to ask for the feedback. And I mentioned very clearly that I need your feedback so to know if there is anything that need to be improved. But unfortunately, I don't receive. Like last semester, I received only 2, and one of them was on asking to solve more examples, and this is something lecturers don't like to be asked to do, because we believe that you should be doing more examples. We give you one, maybe we can do one for you, but I always mention to the students the BCBT hazard, yeah, belum cuba belum tahu. We can do as many examples as we can, but if you don't try yourself, how would you know that you know or not? So we do one just to guide you, and then you should go back and do more. So, but the other feedback was good, and I took it. However, we need that feedback during the classes, during the semester. If you give me your feedback at the end of the semester, I can, of course, improve, but not for you. You know, there's an issue that I'm not aware of. I wouldn't solve it now, and we can't do much about it. So this is just a point I wanted to emphasize, and I really hope the students will not wait until the end of the semester. Don't just wait to go to Enginius, go direct to the lecturer, because we are ready to listen. Now, regarding your question, your sister Rauda, the simple answer is yes, we do. We do have, and as I mentioned earlier, face-to-face, there are guidelines and policies. When RTL started, we started as ERTL. During that time in the Kuliah, Dr. Sani was the Deputy Dean Academic Affairs, and I was a member of a team that has been formed by the Kuliah to address the challenges of moving to ERTL. So immediately we form a team, we call it e-learning facilitators for Kuliah of Engineering. And we call all these lecturers who are well-versed with online. They've been doing online before. They've been using all these platforms before. They know how to use Zoom and all Google Meet, Padlet, Mentimeter. All this has been, they are all very good and familiar with them. So we had a quick online meetings. We discussed the needs for training, and we discussed what kind of guidelines we need to provide to the lecturers. And I mentioned before, we were not surprised that some lecturers has never been on any online before, because there was no need for them to do so, according to their belief that I don't need. For me and many others, we thought that we need to be to do online, and because online helps us in our teaching and learning. And like Brother Ridwan said, that the students need to prepare to the class before. So we utilize LMS, we utilize iTalim and other platforms to give the materials to the students before. So what we have done is that after we created this team, we discussed and we came out with all the guidelines on synchronous and asynchronous, and how to design your videos. Not design in the sense of how to make videos, but that was given as training, but how do you prepare your videos to address the challenge of the students? So for example, for synchronous and asynchronous, we mentioned it very clearly that we need to have both. We cannot have one. We cannot only have synchronous classes because online we might not be able to cover everything during the synchronous class due to limitations of internet to some students. And also if we do only asynchronous, then we will have issue of communication that was addressed in the question before this. We need to meet the students. We need to meet the students as much as you need to meet the lecturers. Also, we need to meet the students. Because I cannot know how much you understand if it is asynchronous. I can give you assignments and quizzes and so on, but I need to know from you how much you understand. So, and that can only be done with discussions. And I like the point that Brother Ridwan mentioned, said that the class should be discussion to be lively. I wish the students understand that very, very well. Because when we ask questions, we have very passive responses. They don't want to answer, and that makes the class quite low energy level, and that affects even the lecturer's performance. Because like I'm asking you questions because I want to know that you understand and how much is your understanding. So going back to the guidelines, yes, for the synchronous and asynchronous, we give very, very clear instructions. And even we mentioned about student learning time. When you prepare your assignments, when you give your homeworks, make sure that it is within the student learning time, according as much as has been clarified and mentioned in the learning, in the course outline. And I hope the students themselves know that. I always tell the students, you owe me 5 hours a week for my 3 hours course. You must give me 5 hours. That is minimum actually. Depends on how we distribute our courses, but the average, let me say not minimum, the average is 5 hours. It could be much more than that, not much but more than that. So I expect you to spend for my class 5 hours a week. If I give you videos of 1 hour a week, I expect you to spend this 1 hour from the 5 hours, and then the other 4 hours reading from the textbook, from notes, doing the assignments, preparing for the quizzes. I hope the students are aware of this. So when they say the lecturer is giving us too many materials, please go back and calculate how many hours you are spending for that course. If you are spending less than 5 hours for 3 credit hours, then something is wrong. Going back to the quizzes, tests, final exam, and career marks, yes, we give very clear instructions because now it is online. It's different style, so we have to address this issue, and we have give training to the lecturers on how to conduct these kind of assessments. We provide videos from other sources. We conducted trainings for the lecturers, and of course, the assessment, to be honest with you, is the most challenging component in teaching and learning for when it is online, because we want the process to be authentic, and meaning that it is really assessing the students, and also we want to make sure that it is accountable, where no cheating is taking place. And unfortunately, we have few cases where cheating has taken place by various means, especially on JAG, and we are looking into this. And actually, we have received even feedback from one student saying that it's not fair that I am putting a lot of effort, I'm being sincere, and some students, they sit down together and solve final exam problems, solve quizzes, solve tests. So he feels that it's not fair for him. So we have tried by giving these guidelines. In terms of study materials, we give guidelines on how to prepare your videos. For example, we say chunk your materials, your videos. Don't give 1 hour video or 1.5 hour video. Make it small. That's why, like in my classes, you might find that for one topic, for one chapter, there might be 8 or 9 videos. It's not because I have 9 hours of videos or even 4 hours of videos. The 8 or 9 videos total is maximum 1 hour, 60 minutes or 70 minutes. But why do I prepare them in this quote to quote large numbers? Because I don't want them to be long. So the students can have like average time to like 20 minutes should be okay. Some of them even 3 minutes, some of them 5 minutes, depends on what I want to address in the video. So all these instructions and guidelines have been given to the lecturers. But we have to understand that some lecturers never used these platforms before, so they might have issues implementing, going back to the BCBT that I always use in my classes, right? We give the guidelines, but when you go into the practice, definitely is not the same. Like when you drive, it's not the same as when you drive with the instructor, it's not the same as when you drive on your own. So this is the same thing. So some lecturers faced issues. We received feedback after the ERTL. We conducted more trainings for these lecturers. And yes, we still face some issues with some lecturers. We continuously address these issues. That's why the feedback is important. But please give your feedback earlier to the lecturer first. And if you don't have a response, give feedback immediate as well through Enginius, so that the message will reach. We can talk to the lecturer during the semester and ask them to improve.
All right.
So
Sorry, sir.
that's what I can say. Thank you.
No, sir. I want to ask one more thing about the quiz and assessments. How it is used to be in our Karima? It depends on the lecture itself, or it is stated in our guideline, because some of the lecture will be use 100% quizzes as our Karima, but some will use assessments. Another one, what about the midterm? Why it's happened? Some happens before break, midterm break, and some will be having during after break. Maybe you can answer.
Okay. Thank you. The assessment is already designed in your course outline. So you have to refer to the course outline, and from there you would know what is how much assessment is given for quizzes, for assignments, and for final exam. During ERTL and RTL, the university allowed the lecturers to adjust the assessment, and that has been done. But we have emphasized on the lecturers to share this with the students, because now if you are referring to the course outline, and I really hope that you guys look at the course outline at the beginning of the semester, go through it, read how many student learning time for each topic, how many chapters you have, all these are very, very important. What are the learning outcomes? Before you go jungle trekking, you go and learn about the place, right? What you have to prepare for the jungle trekking, you need water, food, what kind of equipment. This journey of learning is the same. So you have to don't just go blank and wait, like Brother Rizwan said. You don't go blank to the class. You have to have some preparation, some blanket of information. So we emphasize to the lecturers, if you have made any changes, you must show, right? So that's why, like for myself, in my first slides, introduction about the course, I've shown that to the students. These are assessments, all right? Even for me, I have assignment in my course outline, but in the beginning of the semester, I will tell the students, I'm not going to give assignments. The 5%, I will put it somewhere else, because I don't like the copying and of assignments. I tried many times to get the students to do assignments sincerely without copying and pasting, but I couldn't stop them from doing that. So I thought it is not useful. So I put it in a different way. On the second question was on
the midterm. Why it is happened before the sem breaks, and some happen during our after break. Or maybe that's
actually during this.
Sorry, maybe that discussion we can save for Q&A session later on.
Okay. Yes.
All right.
So just remind me, please, later.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Ma'an, from the explanation just now. The lecturers do have the teaching guideline. Other than that, there are meetings done to assist RTL in terms of video preparations and others. Hence, we need to be considered towards the lecturers, as some of them are new to this online platform. He also stressed that the students need to be comprehensive in class so that the lecturers understand the students, and the students need to be alert on the students' learning time, required double the times from the contact hour. Student has to be honest during the exam as well. And another thing is that the assessments is provided in our course outline. So if there is any changes, our lecturer will tell us and show it to us. Right. What is your comment, Brother Haziq, about standards online teaching method?
Right. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, brother.
It's quite unstable. Okay. Thank you, Sister Roba. And also thank you, Dr. Man, for the clarification. And I would like to thank to the Dr. Man and KOE, also to Enginius for having proactive step to be taken for the online learning to train lecturers and students. And for all the method of learning and assessment, I don't have any, specific comments on that, but maybe I would like to suggest to the lecturers and students on how we can together improve the next semester and next semester to be better. First, we can consider on how this is regarding the 10 weeks continuously lecture. Maybe for the mid-sem exam, we can have a gap between each subject, since we have a long 10 weeks before the mid-break, right? So this is important because mid-sem exam carry about 25 to something like 35% of the course assessment. Compared to the regular semester, the lecturers usually do the exam 1 week before or after the mid-break. So there are possibilities to cram all the subjects in 1 week. But this time we have long 10 weeks to make the exam. Maybe the lecturers can arrange or acknowledge, maybe there is student have 3 midterms in 1 week, or 4 midterms, maybe all midterms in 1 week. So for this long week, maybe we can do gap between each subject. More, can give us space to student to have a more time to take a breath, right? So the second one is the amount of workload, assignments. For me personally, and maybe some other students also, too much assignments sometimes will not increase the productivity, but it will make student more stressed out and demotivated. Also, I hope the lecturers are aware on the difficulties of the assignments, because some lecturers ask students to record videos and do editing. I'm not specifically state this on the KOE, no, but this is on general, on the ICOL, maybe on the economics. So some of them also assess this based on the creativity. As we know, not all students have those skills of editing, recording, videography, and also want to do the TikTok video, you need so much effort to do the TikTok. I myself did several TikTok video, but I gave up to do it anymore because there's so much effort to do. And this kind of assessment, maybe the creativity and so on, will affect indirectly on the carry marks, and to the extent can affect the mental health of the students. But what I can suggest is, this I quote from my friend, if I can say his name is Aiman Rahim from Biotech Department. He said that lecturers maybe can give assessment in a small but effective bites that doesn't disturb the students during the weekends, and goes to the science, short but effective, and it can be completed during the weekdays, because this suggestion take into consideration of the 10 weeks lecture without break. So maybe he suggests to not disturb the weekend or something like that, because it will burden the student, also burden the lecturers to mark and all other stuff, because they also have a PG student to supervise, a 5P students, and so on. And maybe suggestion that I would like to suggest is for underprivileged. Maybe some of us don't have a good internet connection. Maybe what we can suggest is integrate. I know some of lecturers have integrated the synchronous and asynchronous method of learning. but there are some lectures in other kuliah also. Maybe engineering, I'm not sure in engineering. Just give only a synchronous and or only asynchronous. So this will affect the underprivileged one that has no good connection. So that is, I think, I give three points we can together improve on the how to be to make the next semester to be better. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Brother Haziq. From what had been said by Brother Haziq points of view, he said that too many assignments do not increase productivity, but instead may affect the mental health of the students since we have the continuous 10 weeks of lectures for next semester. And it also gives the burdens to the students. If there is no gap between the midterm, because some of the students might have 1 week straight of the midterms. Lecturer should also provide both asynchronous and synchronous classes to help students. Moving to the third sessions, we have been communicating and interacting in the virtual rooms for the last 2 semesters. From where you stand, Dr. Hasmah, do you think it is necessary for the lecturers to let their students be conscious about the manners or adab during and after class? Or it is actually the responsibility of the student themselves to make sure that they have proper manner during and after the class? You may proceed, Dr. Hasmah.
Okay, thank you, Sister Rauda. But beforehand, I would like to say sorry because I couldn't turn on the video, or else my speech will be very lagging. So I hope it is okay just for me to turn off the video. Yeah. Okay. So Sister Rauda, your question is regarding the students' proper conduct during teaching and learning. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So maybe I can highlight the manners of teaching and learning in Islam. Yeah. Okay, so it is open whether it is using online platform or it is under face-to-face conduct. Okay, so this is I will just read briefly. Okay, usually students will give greetings and always respect the teacher. Okay, and then if it is face-to-face class, the students need to sit properly and always be calm. So when you have online class, you need to have to sit down politely and stay calm as well, yeah, brothers and sisters. And then if you want to ask question, ask for permission first. Okay, you can do that during face-to-face class and also online. And then find the right time to ask. Always show the attitude of accepting the teacher's opinion. Okay, so brothers and sisters, sometimes your knowledge is more. For example, during this series of knowledge where students, anybody can just Google on everything, but you must show some attitude of accepting the teacher's opinion. Yeah? And you need to provide assistance to teachers on what can be helped. For example, if your teacher have some problem conducting online class, with the spirit of helping, the students can always help the teacher. And do what teachers like and speak using good language with teacher. On this part of the respecting the teacher and also speak using good language with the teacher is very much indeed in Islam. And also brothers and sisters, firman Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, Surah Al-Mujahadah ayat 11. In Malay we say that Allah meninggikan darjat orang beriman daripada kalangan kalian dan orang yang memberikan ilmu pengetahuan sebanyak beberapa darjat. Or in English, Allah raises the rank of believers among you and people who give knowledge by several degrees. So brothers and sisters, Allah has increased the rank of your teacher, of your guru. Yeah. But then you are the students and you must show some respect because they are your guru, they are a teacher and they should be respected, yeah, brothers and sisters. So when we go back to this ahlak of students and also ahlak of the teacher himself or herself, Okay, for your information, brothers and sisters, last 2 days on Thursday, we lecturers, all academic staff at Kuliah of Engineering IIUM, we have this pre-semester gathering, something like this kind of forum uh, with the dean, with all the deputy deans and all lecturers. We are having meeting. If previously we held this pre-semester gathering face-to-face, but this time around we did it 100% online. So I myself also reminded my colleague about the akhlak of being a guru or a teacher. And right now I would like to seek your understanding that you students, you need to have some respect to your lecturers. It is needed in Islam, yeah, brothers and sisters. And if we look at other hadith and also the dalil, there is hadith riwayat Ahmad, yeah, excluding my ummah are people who don't respect parents, do not love the young, and do not recognize the peers among us. The peers among us means here is the mengiktiraf orang alim di antara kami. So brothers and sisters, although your teacher, for example right now, my understanding and my practice toward Islam is very much less compared to you, yeah, because many of the students in IIUM, they come from a very good school, Ma'had, Tahfiz, and many other religious school. Our knowledge in religious is not high as you expected, yeah. I really admit that. But we are trying to learn Islam as much as possible, inshallah. Many of us, the lecturer, we receive the formal education not in Malaysia. We receive from United Kingdom, we receive from Canada, from US, yeah, from Dr. Ma'an. Where did you study, yeah, Dr. Ma'an? For me, myself, I study in United Kingdom. So the academic and the Islamic knowledge is very secular. So our knowledge about Islam is very much less. But there are also lecturers in Kuliah of Engineering. They come from Darul Quran as well. They are very well respected. But then in seeking knowledge, it is not about seeking knowledge about Islam, but now you are seeking knowledge about engineering, which is the fardu kifayah. Still, your lecturers are your teacher, your guru. So the respect must be there. Yeah. Even our Imam Ash-Shafi'i, when he sat in front of Imam Al-Malik, when he flipped through his books, he tried to flip through very quietly because he feel afraid if he will disturb the guru. Okay, so brothers and sisters, when I read through the RTL survey, I read through your students' concern written to me from Enginius, or sometimes you just wrote directly to me, I feel very sad. And when Dr. Ma'an did the survey of RTL experience among lecturers, there are also lecturers said that the students use a very harsh word in the SFS. Yeah, and I admitted that because I read through the SFS, some of the lecturers, if not all. So the word like a very bad word, yeah. So I think it shouldn't comes from the student because the barakah, yeah, brothers and sisters, will not be there. The ilmu that the lecturer shared with you, although it is not about Islam, although it is not about belajar mengaji Al-Quran, but it is the fardu so technology where the lecturers have shared the knowledge. So please, brothers and sisters, have some respect. When you want to put your concern, please write it nicely, professionally. Don't write it emotionally. When you write SFS, the lecturer will read it, although your identity 100% hidden. Yeah, for example, I just get access to read the SFS. When I read through the SFS, although I'm now at a very special position, yeah, because I got the authority to read all lecturers SFS, but then still the students' identity are 100% hidden. I couldn't see who wrote this, who wrote this, yeah. But I feel very sad, yeah, brothers and sisters. You write in a very, I'm not very sure. The adab is decreasing among the lecturers. So brothers and sisters, learning is not about a good grade. When we learn, we learn the akhlak is the most. Yeah, for example, I read somewhere, when we seek knowledge, when we seek 10 things about the knowledge, but we seek the knowledge about adab double, which is 20. Yeah, so brothers and sisters, um, okay, if we relate about online teaching and learning, the proper conduct, yeah. Okay, first of all, this is I Google from internet because I also not very sure what is the adab for online class. First you need to prepare. Yeah, what do you need to prepare? You need to prepare yourself. You need to read and listen to the pre-recorded video. You need to make a special place. Yeah, prepare your place where you want to study. And then you also need to recite doa before and after the class. And among the adab is you need to present and participate. Yeah, not present, you need to be present in the class and participate. Yeah, don't let the lecturer talk to himself, because sometimes the lecturer don't feel motivated when he or she just talk himself or herself. We need students to respond and participate. And then students, please be focused and take notes. Make sure you have pen and paper next to you. Yeah, brothers and sisters, also have difficulties with my children. Where I need to wake him up. Yeah, this is the small one. Yeah, the small one is already 11 years old. In standard 6. I need to wake him up for the class with sleepy eyes. He sit in front of the computer without any pen or paper. So I feel sad. But then I need to say it to you, yeah, brothers and sisters. If I wait not to advise you until my children is perfectly practice it, so I don't think it can be done, yeah. So while I'm advising you to be present, to be participate, to be focused and take notes, I hope that one day, yeah, one day my son, especially the youngest one, he will behave as the good student with adab and akhlak, insyaAllah. Okay, so brothers and sisters, you must respond to your lecturers when he or she asks, and show some gratitude, yeah, every time after the class. With your respect, with your gratitude, and with your good akhlak and adab, insyaAllah, brothers and sisters, your knowledge will be more blessed by Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. And remember that we seek knowledge not just because they're great, but also to seek the barakah of Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. And insyaAllah, Allah will help us in any way throughout the journey of seeking knowledge, including the assessment, the examination, the quizzes, and many other things, insyaAllah. Thank you, sister.
Thank you, Dr. Hasma. From what was spoken earlier by Dr. Hasma, some of the do's and don'ts that I might be highlight for you guys. First and most, respect is very important. Lecturer have a high positions in the eyes of Allah, and how clever and smart you are. Don't use the harsh word Don't use the harsh word like what have been coming from the SFS or the survey that been done. Alright. Then Brother Haziq, do you think it is great choice to include do's and don'ts while in lecture during our first class so that students and lecturer have a better uhwah and it can prevent misunderstanding in the whole semester?
Okay, thank you, Sister Raudah. For the question is absolutely yes. For me, personally, as a student, we need to have a do's and don'ts when we on the online classes. But I would love to emphasize on one important point that all students maybe should observe. One is the adab with the lecturers. I think this has been said by Dr. Hasma, but maybe too many do's and don'ts that we cannot catch up. But maybe I will emphasize on this point, which is the adab of lecturers. Adab is everything, and adab comes before the knowledge, like Dr. Hasma has said. Also give the hadith. But in the online learning, maybe I can highlight on how how we respond to the good intonation, even we disagree with the lecturer, and also with when we argue or when we interfere the lecture during the lecture, we need to address it with an intention to learn, not to provoke or showing off our knowledge or what. That is the adab from between us and the lecturer. Also, same point, to be responsive when lecturers ask question, and please do ask question on anything. I would love to quote from Dr. Ma'an, because he already taught me on some classes in biotech department. He would also always say that if you don't ask, it shows that you don't even, because if you have the idea, even the slightest, you must have question on it. So I also try to ask question in every classes, and also students need to ask question, because not all that we learn we can digest it by ourselves. We need guidance from lecturers. That is what lecturers for, to guide us from to the knowledge that we learn. And also the other adab that I would like to highlight is always be present during the class. Also the same point that Tasma has been said just now, because some students when they join class virtually, but they are physical and also spiritual, they are not there. Maybe the physical is there, but the spiritual they are not there. They are maybe sleeping in front of the camera, and some of us go to other places, going to makan, some continue to sleep and whatnot. Also, but last but not least, always inform the lecturers if there are any problems occur during the semester. Maybe you don't have a good internet connection. Like for example, maybe you have in Pahang, we have a flood disaster last semester. So please inform the lecturers, and I can guarantee that most of the lecturers can understand our struggle during these hard times. So please don't keep it to yourself, and inform lecturers or friends and so on. So also, okay. Also, that's it for me, for do's and don'ts for lecturers and for students to do when they are in the online class. So I hope we all can do better this semester, inshallah.
Thank you, Brother Haziq. To summarize, Brother Haziq mentioned that first is adabs come first before the ilmu. Some of the manners are when to ask to seek for answer and not to provoke. Student might ask questions as we need guidelines from lecturers and find the suitable times to ask the question. Then we must be present in class physically and spiritually. Do inform lecturers if you have any problems. There will be understands. All right, a short reminder for everyone. We have provided the feedback form in the comment box. So please fill the form after we end this session. Students feel like participation in class is essential, whereas it is a required ethics by the lecturers. What do you think, Dr. Ma'an?
Thank you, sister. Is my voice clear?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. This is a very important question. How long do I need to answer? 30 minutes? I need a long time to answer, but I'll try to, because this is this is a topic that needs a discussion session on its own for that, because this is one of the essence of the teaching and learning. I'll try my best to make it in this short time. Now, to answer this question, we need to understand teaching and learning first. And let me ask you something. Maybe those who are on Zoom or on YouTube, if I need an answer for this. If teaching happens, learning must happen. If teaching happens, that means learning must happen. Is that correct? If you say yes, type 1. If you say no, type 0. If teaching takes place, learning must happen. If the answer is yes, type 1. If the answer is no, type 0. Let me see your feedback, please.
All right. You guys may answer the questions from Dr. Ma'an. Teachings
I
and
can see
learning
many ones.
in the comment box.
Okay, so I can see many ones. So if you believe that if teaching takes place, learning must happen. But what if the learner doesn't want to learn? Imagine you are the teacher, you stand there, you provide all the information, the videos, you explain, but I'm the learner, I don't want to learn. Will learning take place?
No, of course not.
Definitely no. Of course not. Let me ask another question a different way. If teaching doesn't take place, learning will not happen.
True.
If teaching doesn't take place, learning will not happen. If you believe yes, type 1. If you believe no, type 0. If teaching does not happen or does not take place, learning will not happen. If yes, type 1. If no, type 0. Okay, now I think you get the idea. I can see ones, I can see zeros. Yeah, actually, if your teacher doesn't explain anything, we still can learn, because now we have online, we have YouTubes, we have lecture notes, we have textbooks. You know, the first thing maybe Haziq can remember, in my first classes, I will always say, you might find my lectures on videos by other lecturers who might be better than me. That's why I don't call myself a lecturer or a teacher. I call myself learning facilitator. I'm here to facilitate your learning. If you want to learn, you will definitely learn. If you don't want to learn, nobody can force you to learn. So learning is a choice. That's number one on this. Now, so what I feel is that sometimes when you come back to the questions, do students ask questions? Also, when we ask questions, students don't answer. Students feel that it's not important to answer. You see, when we teaching and learning is communication. It's a communication process. You have the message, you have the sender, you have the receiver. So the lecturer is the sender, the message is the topic that we are teaching, and you are the learner, you are the receiver. So if anything is missing, the learning process will be influenced. And when we send the message, we want to know, do you understand? Right? Do you understand what we are been explaining just now? Because some students say, we need to go to explain more. When I explain, this is knowledge. You take the knowledge. Now, what is important than knowledge is understanding the knowledge. Because knowledge is everywhere, you know. So when we ask the questions, we want to see, how do you understand what we have explained to you? And that's why in my classes, I hardly explain like I talk and explain. It will be more on, I will put the layout, I will lay out the concept, and then I will start asking questions to see how much do we understand, rather than I just chunk the information or just give you the information. And to be honest with you, what we feel sometimes that the students want us to teach them, to explain to them, to solve more problems, to solve more tutorials. And then at the end of the day, they want us to give them exams and tests. It's exactly the same way we solve the problems, just change the numbers. So if they memorize the answer, they can just pass. And learning and teaching and learning is not about that. You know, when we talk about the 2025 skills, people talk about solving problems, creativity. How are we going to create this kind of graduates if we are, giving everything? If they don't think, if they don't challenge themselves. So that's why sometimes when the test questions or the final exam questions go a little bit around the problem in a way different from the way the examples or the tutorials have been solved. I cannot say many, or let me say some. I don't have real statistics, but from my classes, I would see that more than half of the students will struggle to solve. Why? Because they don't understand. They know, oh, this is how to solve this problem. But we need to understand why it is solved this way. We need to understand why this integration has been done this way, right? So I think when we talk about answering questions, it's not just about to show. We don't want to. It's not. We are not there to embarrass you. You know, we are not there to. You don't have to worry about if you cannot answer, because if you cannot answer, you are telling me, please, I need you to explain more. The way you explain is not clear. Maybe I can find another way. I can give another example. You are helping me to help you when you try to answer. But when we ask the questions and everybody is like in a quiet, like you, especially online, we can't see your faces, we can't see your moves. Because in my class, usually when I ask questions, I would be looking at the faces of the students, at their eyes, at their body language, and from there I can get some answers, even though they don't speak. But online, I can't see anything. So if you are quiet, like Brother Halik said, then I don't know if you are sleeping and just you're on your video. So teaching and learning happens when we engage in the learning process. If we don't engage in the learning process, it will not happen. I assure you, because if you go back to the pyramid of learning, you learn 5% from teaching. You learn 90% by participating, by discussions, by explaining. So when the classes we say we want you to read this and explain, stand up, like in face to face, we will say now anybody can go up, to the board and explain to us. That is the best way of learning, because according to the studies and research, 90% of the learning takes place by narrating. And they say if you want to learn better, teach. The more you teach, the better you learn. And sometimes when we ask students to go out, and explain, or now online, we say on your mic and explain to us. You will find most of the students are reluctant and maybe shy, maybe afraid to answer. They don't want to sound wrong. So, like for myself, I always remind the students, there's no right and wrong here. It's not about, it's about just sharing. Let's know. Maybe you have an answer that could be right. If it is wrong, it doesn't matter. We will help each other to correct the answer. So, and as mentioned before, when you participate, you motivate us. And I always say in the first class, my energy comes from you. The more you participate, the more you ask questions, the more you answer questions, the more you engage in discussions, I'll be more motivated to be in the class and teach. I will go back home happy, that this class was wonderful. So and please, you need to understand now with RTL, if we cannot give more than 30 or 40 minutes because of the limitations on some students, and we understand this with empathy with those students, and you need to empathy with them. So if you have good internet connection, please prepare well so that the class will be interactive, and those who cannot stay longer can benefit from this short time. So if you don't read before the class, you come blank. I ask questions, most probably you cannot answer because you didn't watch the videos, you didn't go through the materials. Then what can we do in the 30 minutes? I might have to start explaining. But if I want to start explaining, the time I need will be more. Because if I don't explain enough for you to understand, and you have missed watching the videos, if I want to move to the next topic, you know what will happen, right? Because you already have a gap, and then you go move to the next topic, the gap is there. How are you going to have continuity in the learning process? So if you go back and read about teaching and learning, you will find everybody, and this is done by research, talking about interactive teaching and learning. engaging teaching and learning. We are now in the Kuliah moving towards, we are going to transform our teaching and learning so that all lecturers will be looking into engaging students in teaching and learning. No more teaching. We want the students to also engage, interact, So that's why we call it student-centered learning. It's not teacher-centered learning. It's not about the teacher. It's about the student who is learning. So to summarize here, I would say answering questions is very important. Asking questions is very important. Engaging in discussions is very important. And let me quote Prof. Faris, our respectful Deputy Director for Academics and Internationalization. In one talk, he mentioned that the good students are the students that will make the lecturer learn new things in the class. Either by asking questions where that will inquire the lecturer to go and find answers, or by reading more and come to the classes. I read this when I was learning about evaporation. I went through the Google and I managed to find this information. I would say, wow, that's new to me. Thank you. And one respectful Nobel Prize laureate said, the good lecturer, the good student, are the student who will make the lecturer say, I need to go back and check, because they ask questions which are challenging to the lecturer. So I hope that the students will understand this. It's about you. You are the learner. Please ask questions, answer questions. When we say discuss, like Brother Ridwan said, when you have groups, the groups are very important because we are different. When I read something, I understand certain points. When you read something, you understand other points. When we discuss, we share the points. So when we say form groups and discuss with each other, you need to understand why we are asking you to do this. Because everyone has his own strengths and his own weaknesses. So when we work together, we fill these gaps. We complement each other. So I hope that this will help us understand how teaching and learning should be conducted, and will help us improve our teaching and learning together. Because we are not perfect, and we are trying to improve every day. So I hope that addresses the question. And as I said, there are many things to be said here.
Yes.
Time is very short. Hopefully, maybe with the question answers we can
Right.
address. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Maybe we can ask Brother Ridwan, do participations of the class involve the actions of responding to the lectures, as if necessary, switch on camera during class? Maybe whether you can do it in a very short time.
Bismillah. Thank you, Sister Moderator. Thank you also, Dr. Ma'an, for your explanation on these topics. Okay, I will just take a short time on this because there's not much time left. Okay, so I do believe that participation in class, student participation in class is very essential and very important for the learning process to take part. Okay, because of the communication between the student and the lecturers is crucial on having a healthy discussion. Okay, so we go back to the previous question that have been give to me in the previous round, which is about the lively environment and communication. I believe that the participation in the class will obviously create a lively environment in the class, because what we call the participation of the student portrays their interest and their understanding of the classes. So I really encourage all my fellow friends to change your habit in if you have the habit of keep quiet in the class, especially in the online class. I really encourage you guys to change the habit of keep quiet and uh, do more contribute to the class. If not many, just one student help the others to contribute in the class. Last but not least, there's a it's not a quote, but what that I hold on for a very long time, which is if you don't give goods, how do you expect to receive goods? Which is if you don't give anything that goods to others, how do you expect others to give goods to you? But if others didn't give anything goods to you, uh, just give goods to others. So I think that's all. To recap what I just said, that I really encourage and I agree that the participation of the student in the class is very essential for the ethics and also to help the learning process. Okay, thank you.
All right, that's it. That is excellence. Now we know that the manners during RTL is involve engagements between both sides of students and lecturers. With participations, lecturers feel more motivated. The more you teach, the more you will learn according to the students' pyramid, what had been said by Dr. Ma'an just now. It is student-centered learning, and the student should be the one who explains and engaging. And it is about sharing, and we should help each other. Good students are the ones that give knowledge to the lecturers. So ask questions if you have, participate. And from what had been said by Brother Ridwan, since it is a new norm, we should change our habit when we are in our class. Then we will had our Q&A sessions. It looks like we have covered all of the main issues for today's discussions. Now it is about Q&A session. We get into interesting point previously, but maybe we need to know more about the questions that we had just now, Dr. Ma'an, about the midterms examination. Maybe you can
Okay,
answer.
sister. Thank you. Midterm. Well, there are few ways we can look at it. One thing is that, like, if let's say I want to assign a midterm, usually, like for me, I will try my best to assign the time for the midterm at the beginning of the semester. So I will tell the student, this is the date for my midterm. Unless something happened, then I have to change it. So the student know this is the time for my midterm. I try my best to make it before the break. But sometimes the student will say, can you make it after the break? So usually if majority agree, then I will move it after the break. If we, like Haq said just now, if we put all the midterms before the break, then if you have like 5 subjects, then you will have 5 within a week or 2. So I think it's a flexible matter. That's why communication is very, very important between the lecturers and the students. So we need to have an open discussion and communication. Sometimes one student only have a problem with that time because he has another test the same day. So it depends on all these other students whether they want to, like understand the situation, or say it's very difficult to change. So everybody will say, well, we go with the majority. So there are this kind of issues. What is not acceptable is to have the midterm during the break. This is we don't agree on this, unless if it is agreed by all the students that we are okay to have it. I remember last semester, the students asked me to do so. And I said, I want everybody to agree, because I don't want later on people to say, you did a midterm during the break, you know. So if one student said no, I will not do it during the break. You see, so at the end of the day, it's like that's why I said we need to have this channel of communication always open. All right, yeah, that's my
All right.
take on this. I
Thank
hope
you,
it's
Doctor.
answered the question.
Yes.
Okay.
Now we got in questions from our students. Okay. It is specifically for Dr. Hasma. Okay. We should learn from internet. However, sometimes the methods of the teachings are different from your lecture and the one you found online, which might cause some troubles for students during quizzes. What are your thoughts on this, Doctor? Maybe Dr. Hasma, you can answer this.
Okay. Okay, so I will answer inshallah, yes, sister. Regarding this matter, I receive a lot of comments from the RTL where the lecturers are giving, for example, YouTube videos, but not related to the quizzes that was asked in the question. To me, I agree with the students. It is relatively unfair, but if I know the lecturer, inshallah, I will address the issue directly to the lecturer. During the assembly of all academic staff early of the semester, I already addressed to the lecturers that it is not wrong to use any videos or any teaching materials from the internet, from other universities, from foreign university. However, the guidance must be there for your students. So I hope that the lecturers will play their role, because I also address the lecturers that please do your part so that the students has no excuse to do the academic misconduct. Yeah. Yeah, you know, academic misconduct, it is not highlighted anywhere in this forum today, but I would like to highlight as well. As you know, um, teaching and learning, seeking knowledge is a very good process, and Allah has stated that He will make you easier to go to Jannah when you seek for knowledge, inshallah. However, brothers and sisters, when you didn't seek for knowledge, but then you seek for good grades, then the ethics and also the academic misconduct can appear. In the previous semester, semester one, maybe it also happened in the previous other semester where students did this academic misconduct. If during face-to-face exam, the students bring in notes, check their handphones and so many other things that they did against the rules of examination. But in the previous semester, we have students who do it in a different way, using some services on the internet, and it is still against the university rules and regulation, and it is against the akhlaq or the things that as Muslim we do. Yeah, so brothers and sisters, the lecturer, I already addressed to the lecturer to do their part, yeah, to do the teaching and learning, to to help the students in teaching and learning, to guide the students accordingly. And for the student side right now, I hope that you will learn for the sake of Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, because you know that it is the road to Jannah. Yeah, seeking knowledge is the road to Jannah. But then please don't get disturbed by other ya, syaitan punya bisikan, ya, bisikan syaitan, the whispering from syaitan, ya. Syaitan always wanted us to go to the hell. They will say that if other people are doing that, why don't you? They are not caught, they got good grades, they got scholarship, why don't you? So brothers and sisters, please get the clear in your mind that we seek knowledge for the sake of Allah. Therefore, other unnecessarily or other things that will disturb our road to Jannah to be just ignored, yeah. So don't listen to the bisikan syaitan, yeah, the whispering from the syaitan. They always wanted you to do the wrong things. So brothers and sisters, I would like to highlight, because this is towards the very end of the session today, go back to our niyat about seeking knowledge. We seek the knowledge because of Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. We want to be successful in this dunya and also in the akhirah. Therefore, academic ethics is very important. Please don't do any cheating or any academic misconduct in the exam. Yeah, brothers and sisters, we heard from the students and we also receive complaints from the students that some students at Mahalah, they do the exam in group. Yeah, they make a group discussion. I received a proper email from students who complained that because he stayed at the home struggling answering the exam. But then he found that in Twitter or IG story, something like that, the students are openly discussed during the exam. It's shown, yeah, on the internet, on the social media, without any fear, without anything to hide. Yeah, but then please reflect, is this conduct correct? Yeah, and also the kuliah has received many concern from lecturers that students are cheating using this not software, using the services offered by CHEGG. The problem occurs not only in IIUM, not only in Malaysia, but across the world, brothers and sisters. So I hope that for us as Muslim, we know what should be done, what shouldn't be, and don't hear anything about the bisikan from syaitan. Yeah, I got reminded from Prof. Abdul Mamun. If before this, I only stress out about honesty, honesty in our life, honesty as being a Muslim, honesty in the exam. And he reminded me that please remind the students about the shaitan, yeah, the shaitan who are always wanted us to go to the hell. So today, brothers and sisters, I reminded you that please don't listen to shaitan, do the right thing, please be honest. Yeah, we want to be successful in this dunya and akhirah. Thank you, sister.
All right, thank you, madam. I think we will answer one more questions, but in a very short time. This questions is direct to Dr. Ma'an. You have 2 minutes, Dr. Ma'an, to answer this question. The question is, does KOE apply the normal distributions bell shape in determining students' grade? The reason is because there are some KOE lecturers who use it before, but IIUM SU has informed that normal distributions is not IIUM university policy. May I have some clarifications regarding this matter, sir?
Thank you for the question. In the Kuliah of Engineering, for example, what we practice is that when we prepare the questions should address, okay, let me go back one more step. The bill shape here means that the distribution must be in a way where you can have the normal distribution, where you have not all students will be A, not all students will be B, or not all students will be at the C and D and E and so on. So there is quite of a balanced in the distribution of marks. So in Kuliah of Engineering, in order to ensure that this is happening, when we prepare the questions, we address the questions at different levels. So we'll have questions which could be answered by most of the questions, by most of the students. Questions which are in the medium level, which will be answered by another group of students. And we have those questions will be answered by the distinguished students. So having that distribution of questions, we will have we can see the A students, we can see the one in the middle, and those who are not performing well will be on the other side of the curve. All right. So by doing this, we try to assure that the bill shape is achieved. And we do at the end of the semester look at the distribution of marks of all courses, and we see that if there are certain courses that too many A's, we ask just to make sure that these A's are well deserved. Or there are too many F's, then we will check why do we have too many F's in that in that particular course. We would refer to the lecture and get some justification to see whether there is anything wrong in the teaching and learning or the assessment. So we do try our best to observe that bill shape is achieved in various ways. I hope that answered the question. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Due to time constraint, now we are going to have 1-minute sessions for all the panelists to share their conclusion regarding this forum. Anything? You may start first, Dr. Ma'an.
Oh, okay, thank you. Let me say that teaching and learning is a journey. I personally enjoyed that journey, and to make sure that it is enjoyable not only for me, I try to make it also for the students. And in my teaching and learning, and I think that most all lecturers also are the same. We are not just here to teach you the technical knowledge. We want to teach you how to learn, because life is about learning, and our learning stops and ends when we go to the grave, right? And please understand that we are not preparing you for a job. If you are here in the university for a job, you are in the wrong place, because you can get job anywhere. You don't even have to have a certificate. You are here to build your career, and career is a life journey. And university is one of the very important stations for you to build yourself and prepare yourself for this journey. So it's not only about the academics. You need to be doing well in your academics. At the same time, you need to also venture about building and developing other skills for yourself. So learning how to learn, managing your time, involving in discussions, asking questions, solving problems, learning communication, taking courses in about leadership, debating, all these are actually in one package in your university life. This is your chance to build yourself, and we want you to go out as a leader in the society. This is our inspiration, actually, to make that our graduates are leaders in the society, not just people who are finding jobs to earn salaries.
All right.
Right. I hope that is the message I
Thank you, Doctor.
really would like to. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Dr. Hasma, you have any to share regarding this forum that we made today?
Okay, semester will start very soon. Those who are listening to this tonight's forum, there are first year students, second year, third year, and fourth year. So my remark is just please enjoy your journey in these 4 years of duration of your study. You will appreciate these 4 years of journey at the university very much, especially when you left the university later on, when you already engaged with your new job, with your family. So this 4 years duration at the university, please spend the time at most. Yeah. Okay. Enjoy your learning, and also try your best to develop yourself to be a holistic graduate that consists of good akhlak, good adab, highly knowledgeable, good skills, problem solving, and also good in communication, and have some leadership skills with you, yeah, by joining a students program and also in any students activities, because we want our students of IIUM to lead the way, yeah, to be the agent of change to the ummah, inshallah. You can do it, brothers and sisters.
All right, thank you, Dr. Hasma. Very motivated. Now I think it's time for us to wrap up our forum for today. Let us share some Quran verses that might be useful for us. Based on Surah Al-Inshirah, verses 5 and 6. Then surely with hardship come ease. Surely with hardship come ease. Allah promises us that every time we face any hardship, there will be happiness awaiting ahead of us. The happiness, success will not come to us without any effort. Use this verse as our new motivation in the future. Bear in our mind. When we face any new hardship, be happy because there will be a lot of grace waiting for us. We have great challenges and great opportunities, and with your help, we will meet them and make this upcoming semester the best semester in our history of RTL. I would like to thank all the panelists for your time for joining us, and thank you for all participants. Please wait for a while for our photography sessions, then you may leave the room. We will end this forum with Tasbih Kifarah and Surah Wal As. Thank you. Our prep tech are ready? Are you guys ready?
Yes, yes.
All right. We should share. Cheers to the camera.
So please open your camera.
Is it okay if I'm not using the green screen because my laptop is on his, his
Okay,
time.
right.
Okay.
Answer Maturi.
Okay. Okay. Smile on the camera, in front of camera. 1, 2. Okay. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Freestyle.
Style.
1, 2, 3. Okay, that's it.
All right. Thank you,
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Asma, and thank you, Brother
Thank
Haziq,
you
Brother
all,
Ridwan.
Dr. Asma, Dr.
Thank you
Alright.
everyone for this chance. I hope we can have more of these
Thank
sessions.
you all.
InsyaAllah.
Maybe we can have the forum 2.0 this time.
ANC take note. Thank you, and also thank you, ANC.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ma'an, Madam Asma, and my fellow brothers. My handsome one, Ridwan. And also Razik, the Iman, the Nur one.
Alright, inshallah.